Ever get that feeling like you're researching a topic and hit a wall? You need more than just individual studies. You need the big picture.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to understand this huge, complicated problem.
You need more data.
More data. Yeah, exactly. So how do we get that bigger picture?
Well, there's this thing called macro archival databases.
Macro archival databases.
Yeah, they're these huge collections of data.
So we're not talking about like a simple spreadsheet here.
No, not at all.
This is like serious data.
Think organization level, industry level, even country level.
Whoa. Okay. So is this just for data scientists then? Like, are we getting too technical here?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Okay.
While they're common in fields like strategic management,
Okay. Yeah.
they can be super helpful for anyone who wants to look at like micro level questions
Yeah.
and then see what happens at a much larger scale.
So it's like zooming out.
Exactly. It's like zooming out and getting a wider perspective.
I like that. And I'm guessing the more data, the more reliable the insights, right?
Exactly. More data, more reliable insights, more robust conclusions.
Love it. So today we're going to do a deep dive into these macro archival databases.
We are.
We're going to explore how these databases help researchers take those micro-level questions to the macro level. We'll even dig into a case study on workplace diversity and firm performance.
A great example of how these databases can reveal some pretty cool insights.
Absolutely. So our main source today is a paper by Aguinis
and Glove.
and Glavis, sorry.
Sure.
And they outline a few ways researchers are using these databases.
Right. So one way is through what we call multi-level theorizing.
Multi-level theorizing.
Yeah. So that basically means looking at how individual and team characteristics can influence organizational outcomes.
So like how employee training programs impact a company's overall performance.
Exactly. That's it.
Okay, cool.
So individual actions having organization-wide effects.
Yeah, and is there another way researchers are using these databases?
Yeah. So there's another approach called examining downward effects.
Downward effect.
Yeah. It's basically how the larger context, like national culture or industry regulations, shapes what happens at the individual level.
Okay, so it's like a two-way street.
Exactly.
Things at the individual level can impact the organization.
Right.
But the organization's context can also influence individuals.
Exactly. A perfect example is how a country's gender equality norms might influence the number of women in management positions in companies in that country.
Oh, that's interesting. So are there a lot of like unanswered research questions that could benefit from this approach?
Oh, yeah, tons. Aguinis and Glavas actually point out that there are many unanswered questions in microdomains that could benefit from this kind of macro lens.
So it's like a whole new world of research waiting to be explored.
Pretty much, yeah.
So what are some examples of questions researchers are dying to answer using these databases?
Well, one that comes to mind is employee turnover.
Turnover, yeah.
Like, how do changes in company-wide turnover over time, whether increasing or decreasing, affect a company's performance?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, it has huge implications.
Definitely. And are there others?
Yeah. Another interesting one is the strategic impact of employee health programs.
Okay, so like, do companies with great wellness initiatives actually see a boost to their bottom line?
Exactly. And we're not just talking about individual well-being here, but the potential strategic advantages for the whole organization.
So connecting the dots between employee health and things like productivity and innovation.
Exactly. There's also a lot of interest in the organizational level outcomes of workplace diversity beyond just performance.
Yeah.
There's been research on diversity at the team level,
Right.
but much less at the organizational level.
So we need to kind of broaden our scope and look at things like companies' reputation, social impact, even environmental sustainability.
Yeah.
And how does diversity play into those areas at a macro level?
Exactly. So these are just a few examples, but they really highlight the potential of these databases
Yeah.
to offer a broader, more nuanced understanding of these really complex issues.
I love it. Okay, so we've got these burning research questions, and we've got these databases just sitting there waiting to be used. So how many are we talking about?
There are over 30 commonly used ones.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is.
Okay, so for those of us who are like trying to be efficient learners, what are the key things to look for in these databases?
Well, one of the coolest things is the sheer variety of variables you'll find.
Okay.
You'll find data on things like performance management, compensation, diversity, employee well-being.
Oh, wow. So like actual things people really care about, not just like, abstract concepts.
Exactly. Things people actually care about.
So I could find data on the types of benefits companies offer.
You could.
Or even how they measure employee satisfaction.
Yes, precisely.
Wow, okay.
Another crucial element is context.
Context.
A lot of these databases provide information on organizational characteristics, industry details, and even country-level factors.
Okay.
This contextual data is key for doing any nuanced analysis.
Right, because a company's performance, let's say, could be influenced by its size, industry, even the political climate of the country it operates in.
Exactly. And having that data lets you make more controlled comparisons and ultimately more reliable conclusions.
Okay, so we've got these massive databases with tons of variables and this rich contextual information. But I'm still a little fuzzy on how all of this comes together to answer a specific research question.
Okay.
Can you give me a concrete example?
Sure. Let's look at the Thomson Reuters ESG database.
Okay.
This database tracks companies' sustainability practices,
Okay.
things like their environmental impact, social responsibility, and governance.
Yeah.
And it links all that to economic performance.
That's interesting. So you're saying I can use this database to see if companies that are, say, more environmentally friendly or socially responsible actually perform better financially.
You got it. It's just one example, but it shows the kind of insights these databases can offer. You can explore relationships between all sorts of factors and see how they play out in the real world across thousands of companies.
It's like having a giant laboratory at your fingertips.
It is.
I like it. And speaking of real-world examples, Guinness and Glavas walk us through a case study
They do.
involving workplace diversity and firm performance.
Yes.
And it really brings all these concepts to life.
It does. It's a perfect example of how these databases can be used to test very specific hypotheses. And I think our learner listeners will find it very illuminating.
Ooh,
Yep.
I'm excited. Let's dive into that next. I'm ready to see these databases in action.
Let's do it. This case study really gets to the heart of something important. Is there a link between manager gender diversity and how well a company performs financially?
Yeah, this is huge, right? We hear so much about diversity, but does it actually lead to better results? I mean, that's what we're all wondering.
Yeah, for sure. And to figure that out, they tested two specific hypotheses.
Okay.
First, they wanted to see if the level of manager gender diversity at a company is related to its performance.
So but basically, more diverse leadership equals better financial outcomes.
Exactly. And the second hypothesis takes it a step further.
Oh, so it looks at what happens later on.
Right. It looks at the relationship between manager gender diversity and performance in the year after.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
And that's important because it helps us see if there might be a causal link.
Yeah, because if diversity today leads to better performance tomorrow, it's more likely that it's actually causing that performance, not just happening at the same time.
Exactly. It strengthens the argument that diversity is a driving force, not just a coincidence.
I get it. So how did they actually test these hypotheses? What data did they use?
Well, they used a bunch of different macro archival databases, actually.
Okay.
Thomson Reuters, ESG, DataStream, WorldScope, and Ilostat.
Whoa, that's a mouthful.
Right. And they collected data over 15 years, from 2002 to 2016.
15 years. That's a lot of data.
It is. And it means they had access to a huge range of variables.
I bet. What kind of stuff did they have data on?
Well, obviously, they had data on manager gender diversity, but also key outcome variables like return on assets.
ROE.
Yep, and return on equity.
ROE, I'm following.
Those are both common measures of financial performance.
So basically how well a company is using its resources and investments to make money.
Exactly. And they didn't just look at those variables in isolation.
Oh, so they took context into account.
Exactly. They included control variables for stuff at the firm level, industry level, and even country level.
Oh, wow. So that's things like the company size, what industry it's in, even the cultural norms around gender.
Yeah.
In a specific country, right?
Exactly. They wanted to isolate the impact of manager gender diversity from all those other factors that could be playing a role.
Makes sense. So it's like they created this super controlled environment to see if diversity really makes a difference.
Precisely. And that's one of the big advantages of these databases you can control for so many different things.
It's like having a perfect laboratory setting, but for real-world companies.
I like that analogy.
So they got the data they controlled for other factors, and they tested their hypotheses, and what did they find? Spill the tea.
Okay, drum roll, please. The results supported their hypotheses.
Oh, wow. So it's true. More diverse leadership really does lead to better performance.
It seems so. Even after controlling for all those other factors, the analysis showed that manager gender diversity is positively related to how well a firm performs.
That's awesome. But you know what I think is even more interesting than the results themselves?
What's that?
It's how they use the databases to get those results.
Yeah, this case study is a great example of how powerful these databases can be.
So remind me, how did they make the case for a causal relationship between diversity and performance?
Well, remember how they looked at the performance in the year after?
Yeah.
Showing that diversity today is linked to better performance tomorrow really strengthens the argument that it's not just a correlation.
Yeah, it's like diversity sets off this chain reaction that leads to good things down the road.
Exactly. And remember how they used two different measures of performance, ROA and ROE? That also makes their findings more robust because we see consistent results across both.
It's like having multiple witnesses confirming the same story.
Yeah, I like that.
And what about context? How did they use that to dig deeper into the results?
Right. So by including those industry and country controls, they were able to make this really interesting finding. They found that gender diversity at the industry level was also linked to better firm performance.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it suggests that a company's performance is influenced not just by its own diversity, but also by the overall diversity of the industry it's in.
So it's like the whole ecosystem matters.
Exactly. And that's a nuance they might have missed if they hadn't used these macro-level databases with all that rich contextual information.
This is so cool. It's like having this massive research toolkit at your disposal. Anyone could use these databases to explore their own questions, right?
Absolutely. And that's what's so exciting about this deep dive. We're showing how these databases can be used for all sorts of questions, not just academic research.
So we've learned what these macro archival databases are. We've seen how researchers are using them to answer big questions. And we've even gotten a glimpse of their potential through that case study on diversity and firm performance. But like with any good research, there's always more to explore, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There are tons of directions we could go from here.
So what's like a thought-provoking question our listeners can ponder as they kind of continue their own learning journey?
Well, thinking back to that case study, it makes you wonder if the relationship between diversity and performance is the same in every industry.
Yeah.
Or if it changes based on what kind of diversity we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point. Like, could it be that some industries benefit more from diversity than others?
Exactly. Or what about different types of diversity?
Yeah, the study focused on gender diversity.
Right.
But what about racial diversity? Or ethnic diversity?
Exactly.
Or even diversity of thought and experience?
Right. Those are great questions, and that's what's so cool about this topic, It's not just about understanding the databases themselves.
Right.
It's about getting curious and asking your own questions.
And with these databases, we have the tools to actually go find some answers.
Exactly. So yeah, if you're ready to dive in, we've included links to some of these databases in the show notes.
Awesome. I love that.
You never know what you might discover.
It's like these databases aren't just collections of data.
Right.
They're like portals to a deeper understanding of the world.
They are.
They help us connect those dots between what's happening at the individual level and the big picture trends that are shaping society.
Yeah, it's like seeing the forest and the trees.
Exactly. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of macro archival databases.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
We'll be back next week with another fascinating topic. Until then, keep diving deep.